For every transcendent all-time great, everybody's always looking for the next superstar or face of the league, looking to measure up to the greatest player of their generation. It didn't take long to find the closest thing to Michael Jordan when a teenage Kobe Bryant took the league by storm and became the face of the NBA during the 2000s, becoming an all-time great in his own right. Enter the 2010s, now almost halfway through the 2020s. We're still somehow living in the LeBron James era of basketball, still the face of the NBA after all these years, still winning new awards as the league made fresh adjustments for regular season entertainment. All the best young stars today, international. Jokic and Giannis don't really have the personalities or play styles to be most marketable. Both just go about their business and dominate. After seeing a prime LeBron take over the league, whenever a hype prospect came along, even if there's just a 1% chance of resemblance, many were quick to draw those reckless comparisons, leading to endless underachieving results. Two of the biggest absolute travesties in today's NBA, Ben Simmons, Zion Williamson, all that insane hype from basketball prodigies, rare qualities, and unparalleled potential to now an NBA afterthought. Both highly dominating number one picks have shown flashes of excellence early in their careers, but only for a brief time. Their lack of commitment in becoming transcendent stars, having everybody beg them to care more, play harder, their lack of passion for the game results in wasted talent at the end of the day. Nobody's gonna be feeling bad. A few years from now, don't be surprised to find both of them out the league. Starting with Ben Simmons, nobody heard about him since the summer, of course. Every year, creating all those fake hype narratives. We've seen this story time and time again. The first two words, an absolute lie. I'm excited because I know I can do it. Simmons simply hasn't played a game with any excitement after that Game 7 meltdown. Hasn't recovered from the mental breakdown. Let's get back to the gym. For becoming an LA Fitness champion, yeah, he might be a 3-time All-Star, All-NBAer, multiple defensive teams, but what happened his post-Sixers time? It's been almost 2 years since being traded. Having a change to start fresh, not even be called to be the man, but just a role player for KD and Kyrie's Nets, getting many excited about his potential return in the playoffs, to seeing his team down 0-2, then all of a sudden not gonna return again? That fake attitude, why many cannot stand him. Then come next season, lost all his confidence, still scared to look at the basket. 48 games since getting traded, the king of triple singles, 7, 7, and 6 average, under 6 shot attempts, of course, 0 3-pointers. The now 27-year-old supposed to be in his prime years, but wasting away from lack of activity, getting paid a disgusting near $38 million on a team that needs his service, over $40 million for next season, 30 plus since 2021. Every offseason, it's been all talk and irrelevancy, from looking like he'll enter top 10 player discussion after a historic rookie season to slipping further in the player rankings. Is Ben Simmons even a top 100 player right now? For him to come back and dominate people will be great. The only thing he's dominating, taking millions from the Nets payroll. Teammates Mikal Bridges, Cam Thomas, Cam Johnson, balling their hearts out every night. The unreliable Simmons haven't been heard from after a lower back injury. Even Lonnie Walker, on a vet minimum, much more impactful to the Nets this season alone than Ben's entire tenure. 6 games played this season, much more aggressive outside of scoring, but absolutely nowhere near all-star or max player material, as many forgot about him for a good month. Stephen A took shots at the irrelevant former number 1 pick during the in-season tournament pregame.
I am completely disgusted with Ben Simmons, and I think we all should be. I don't care at this point that he's injured, and the reason why is because too much time went by when you were not injured, when you were not playing. But you certainly made sure that your check was in your bank account every single month.
Stephen A absolutely spot on. Simmons having the chance to prove himself when he wasn't injured, his lack of commitment for the game.
I don't think any place on the planet that loves the game of basketball should co-sign and condone Ben Simmons' lack of commitment to the game of basketball. Enough's enough. It's unacceptable. You're too great, you're too talented, you're too gifted to be allowing your talents to waste away the way that he has. I'm not excusing it anymore.
If he focused his game just as hard as getting his settlement from the Sixers, Ben Simmons be averaging 23, 10, and 10 right now. The entitled number 1 pick complaining about mental health for his lack of participation from work, getting a doctor's note. The audacity to receive full salary from the Nets, riding the bench, wearing bougie clothes. Already having a long history of being immature, selfish, and arrogant, former players coming out, even expressing his behavior before even playing a game in the league. Philly fans sided with his BS for a long time, begging for him to shoot the damn ball. It's been how many years now, and still yet to fix his biggest issue on the court, the only thing he cares about, collecting them Benjamins. There's a reason why the elders call this generation soft, wanting to do the least amount of work, still trying to get paid in full. There's a reason everybody respects greats like Larry Bird. After coming from Barcelona's dream team, the Celtics knew he was reaching the end. Franchise could have paid him 2 years, $10 million more had he waited to make his full decision. His contract would have kicked in, and Boston would have still had to pay Bird even if he chose to retire. But a humble and honest Larry said he doesn't want the money because he didn't earn it and he won't take it. Let's just get this over with. Talk about one of the all-time greats, the unselfish act, being true to himself. Legends like Bird deserves everybody's respect. Most players, including the arrogant Simmons, would have taken that money and complained about being hurt and never play again. Ben Simmons, a prime example of what's wrong with this generation's entitled athletes, from citing mental health issues, yet he even mocked the Sixers, taking a picture of himself watching his former team lose in his mansion. He seems pretty happy about that. With much of his game predicated on pure athleticism, even healthy, never proved to have the mental ability to persevere through adversity. At this point, it's clear he's been shooting with the wrong hand. With all this time passed, the superstar potential days long gone. Best case scenario, after 2025, actually prove he's healthy enough to play 60 games, likely in the range to get 3 years, $45 million, a post-Boston Rondo type player, having the ball in his hands with shooters. That's what the Nets supposed to be for. Still nothing to show. Averages of 9, 7, and 6 for the rest of his career, likely most realistic case. The lazy attitude, given how bad he played last season, responding poorly to criticism, then shutting down, the nerve issue in his back after career lows, not in any rush to come back, looking like another wasted season. But after his contract expires, he'll come back, look to have a couple big games, and finesse himself to another payday. From having all the talent, early warning signs about his lack of passion for the game evident. From the LSU days, quitting on his team. Despite the many red flags, his talent still too great to not be picked first overall. Labeled the next Magic Johnson, highly gifted in every aspect besides shooting. At 6'10", still has all the talent to post triple-double numbers every night when healthy. His biggest problem simply doesn't care about basketball, doesn't like to practice, okay with not playing, already won the genetic lottery, but loves the money associated with playing ball. Combine that with zero mental toughness, demanding out of the number 1 seed Sixers, sat out, cited for mental health cries, not playing ball for almost a year, then somehow having back issues come playoff time. From becoming the next Magic Johnson to a bootlegged Draymond Green, the opposite approach of 4-time champion Klay Thompson. After 2 serious injuries, came back, helped his team win another ship. Regardless of what happens next, Klay's career already cemented and will have his jersey number retired for Golden State. Simmons continues to fall even further, but the luxury lifestyle, he'll enjoy plenty of that. Same goes with Zion Williamson. From the era of social media, all the fame at age 14, the teenage sensation. Praised by his physical gifts from day one, just like Simmons, the richest of the celebrity lifestyle, shifting away all his basketball focus. Now age 23, a shell of himself, Zion has looked even worse out there. Little signs of improvement, no sense of urgency, shows no heart, plays like he just ate 3 Big Macs, absolutely embarrassed himself in the biggest stage when his Pelicans got absolutely destroyed by 38-year-old LeBron and the Lakers. 5 seasons in, 0 playoff games played like he doesn't even care, absolutely out of shape, sweating by the first quarter, don't have the energy to rebound when he's 300 pounds bigger than everybody else, an absolute travesty of a number 1 pick. The New Orleans Pelicans deserve some blame too for holding on to false hopes, dreaming their guy makes them contenders, as long as Big C, which stands for zero heart, from likable being box office at Duke, showed his greatness at college in 2019 before playing a game in the NBA, literally one of the 5 most talked about basketball players in the world. Between January up to the conclusion of the NCAA tournament, only LeBron, Curry, Durant, and Harden more talked about than Zion at the time. Right after getting drafted, signed a shoe deal worth 5 years, $75 million, missed almost all his rookie season. Already had a bad impression, caught on camera falling asleep on the bench. The NBA even catered to him, adding 8 more additional regular season games in the bubble, so New Orleans still had a slight chance at making the playoffs, but Zion embarrassed himself, being out of shape as a 20-year-old, lost 4 of his 5 games played, a disgusting minus 58 in 104 minutes on the floor. Team nearly allowed 130 points per 100 possessions, just like Ben Simmons getting his first real criticism after the 1-point performance 2018 Game 2 Boston series. From looking like a defensive player of the year caliber in college, Zion absolutely not interested playing any D in the NBA. The only 2 Ds he cares about, what's for dinner, and getting it in with something I won't need to mention. The lack of conditioning hasn't damn changed. It's been 4 years, New Orleans dealing with the same BS. His second season, looked like a true superstar, played 61 of 72 games, successful numbers of 27-7, shot 61% from the floor, even named an all-star starter, but New Orleans still finished 10 games below 500, only to suffer a Jones fracture in his right foot next offseason, from team officials being hopeful he'd be ready to return by start of the year, extended till December, then pushed back to All-Star break to ended up playing 0 games. And guess what? The Pelicans fought hard after the ugly 1-12 start, won their play-ins, the acquisition of star player CJ McCollum. Weeks after, Zion being detached from the team didn't even reach out to CJ, from a Dookie criticizing another Dookie, a former teammate in New Orleans.
I would always reach out to team. I called Ersan Ilyasova, I called Marco, I called Wes Matthews trying to get him to come to Philly. Like, this just shows a complete lack of investment in your team, in the organization, in the city. This is a pattern of behavior with Zion that we are seeing again and again. And look, I was his teammate. I can describe him as a detached teammate. That is an accurate statement.
Almost 2 years later, this pattern of behavior hasn't changed one bit. We get he never wanted to play for New Orleans and prayed to land with the Knicks, but still had the responsibility to be a good teammate for a team that's writing him paychecks for his unavailability. His numbers might look amazing on paper, but the drive and focus, not there for a talent who could walk in and drop 25 a game, overpowering everybody. The lack of passion and constant weight issues, gifted enough he doesn't even have to push himself, leading to unfamiliar territory. Born with all the physical gifts, Zion might have never experienced what working hard feels like, already having all the money, more focus on other things besides ball. Going through the motions of an 82-game season, treating it like a miserable 9-to-5, no matter where he ends up, no leadership qualities, and he's got the pieces to seriously contend. Imagine a young star like Luka having a Trey Murphy, CJ, Ingram, Herb, JV, and Jordan Hawkins. That's easily a 55-win team, making between 34 to 44 million each year until 2028. With his injury history, combined with the inability to stay in shape, becoming the NBA's Jamarcus Russell by the day, take away all the sheer athleticism, he's just an undersized power forward who can't rebound. Too many flaws, not comfortable shooting 12-foot pull-ups. The franchise immediately had the reports come out how he was told about his diet and conditioning, never listened, his old trainer throwing shades at the lack of commitment. Zion's simply who he is at this point. Imagine him playing for a big market like New York with no hard work and discipline to show. He's fortunate to not have gotten more bash in the smallest market. Messing around with his body, if he don't get his shit together within the next year, he'll be out the league by age 29. Absolutely inexcusable, from having all-time great potential, now looking like an all-time bust. Once he heard those noise, proceeded to drop 36 on the Timberwolves. Where was that energy last few games? Why can't he do that every game? That's what's most frustrating about Zion. Being more than capable of dominating when he feels like it already caused irreparable damage to Nola, the fans mocking him, and he doesn't even take it personally. Him and Ben Simmons, physically talented, gifted in basketball, but mentally fragile. Two of the most weak-minded players, a debate that goes on forever. At least Simmons won a couple playoff series, and Williamson played just a possible 37% of his career games, less than 2 full seasons. An unserious franchise, New Orleans not a basketball town. What's up with the Louisiana laziness? From Simmons at LSU, Zion with the Pels. If his body don't hold up this regular season, please just throw in the towel. Will his weight concerns get too out of hand, not being able to handle a full season? Will Zion never reach his full potential, get in the best shape possible, run back on defense, show more effort, seems more focused on the OnlyFans models, getting thirst trapped and taken advantage of, from getting called Freaky Z to when his team needed him most, thinking he can save their season, when fully paid, doing 360 dunks in practice, saying he's physically fine. Now it's just a matter of when I feel like Zion, in a time where the season's on the line, scared to get mocked if he performs poorly and his team ends up losing. The way he explodes, leading to high risk of lower body injuries. Has Zion added new tools to his game? Absolutely not. And now trying to buy in, if he really was a franchise player, he'd be the system. But OK taking a back seat simply has no competitive spirit.
Like I said, right now I'm taking a little back seat right now, and I'm trusting the process. I'm trying my best to buy in right now.
The Pelicans franchise endlessly coddling him. Where's the strong vest to call him out? At least Charles Barkley had Moses Malone to get his head straight. Zion still acts like a rookie. As long as he's in the Pelicans uniform, they have absolutely zero chance at competing for a ring. Him and B.I., not a great mix. Both can't shoot the 3 well, don't play D, don't rebound, don't dive after loose balls, no leadership. Zion more often out of shape than being in shape. Doesn't look as explosive this early season. His bounce already seems to slow down, already slow-footed on D. At this point in time, both #1 picks have caused more harm than good to the league, deserves their heavy fair share of blame. All that narrative for both guys, oh wait, they'll dominate next season, gonna be different. All lies on lies on lies. Simmons more of a chance to be healthier than Zion long term, given the play style. Both already got their bag, have no love for the game. Both love to dunk on camera in practice, but don't actually like to play the real games. Two of the most disliked players in the game, Ben Simmons, Zion Williamson, the two biggest absolute travesties of this decade. Let me know in the comments below. See y'all next time.